Bemis Center for Contemporary Arts presents Bemis Center Podcasts, capturing the creative process and bringing it directly to you. I'm Annie Kwok, Residency Director at the Bemis Center for Contemporary Arts, and today I'm sitting down with Caroline Gore, who's been with us for about 2 months now, and she's been so delightful working here, and she's a jewelry maker and a sculptor as well. And Caroline, I was just wondering, what were your initial thoughts when you came into the Bemis space and just arriving here from Kalamazoo? And I'm sure you had tons of projects that you're thinking of, but when you saw the initial space, what did you think?
In that moment when I arrived, I would say it was relief. The spring semester had been so busy with teaching, and I had a couple other conferences to go to and things like that. And so I had all these ideas welling up in me over the academic year and not really the time to get to them. And so I just finally, there was so much buildup in coming to the Bemis that I felt like I could just exhale and just get ready to go.
And you came here with a few projects in mind. Can you talk a little bit about how you prepared for the time at the Bemis Center?
You know, it takes me a long time to conceptualize my work, and I walk my dog a lot, and that time, you know, that we spend together, I really observe my surroundings. And I had, in my neighborhood in Kalamazoo, noticed these seed pods from these catalpa trees, which I figured out the name of them. But they're these long bean-like structures, and I just thought that they were really beautiful, and I had, you know, just tried to find a source for them for the longest time, and found a tree and a family outside that I could ask them, you know, can I clean up your yard? So I shipped those seed pods to Bemis. I think that was the first piece that I started working on when I was here. And then I had another, you know, couple of projects, a couple of obligations. And so I just kind of cast them aside for a while. And I think within the last week and a half, I finally put them up on the wall, and it's not quite finished. I ordered some stones to put over top of the nails, so they'll have these little garnet pieces in. They'll just sparkle a little bit. But I think that's, you know, in going back to the sculptural work that I'm doing, and also some of the jewelry that I'm working on with site installations as well. This piece that I've done at Bemis relates back to that. And it's sort of like I shipped my environment here, you know, in a way. But, you know, it's about finding beauty in the mundane, the beauty in the overlooked, kind of highlighting that 24 karat gold as a material. So that's one of the pieces that I've been working on here.
Yeah, and this is kind of like an ongoing piece too from the pieces that you're doing in Italy and some of the traveling as well. So do you feel like you're going to keep continuing on as you move around and see different environments and experience different areas that you'd like to highlight? Is that kind of the idea, or?
Yeah, you know, some places really speak to me with this process, and other places don't. It takes lots of observation to settle on, you know, a site that feels right. You know, and so in a way, you know, the project can sit with graffiti in a way, but in another way it doesn't. You know, and because I'm very specific about the object or about the space that I choose to work with, I think it'll continue for a while. I can't really be definite about it. I don't want to put a timeline on it either. You know, but when I'm no longer interested in working that way, I guess it'll just kind of fizzle out.
And was there a reason why you chose specifically like gold and silver as your mediums to do this highlighting?
Well, I think that the inherent value of the material is a pretty tight way of thinking about it. You know, I mean, if it was like red paint or whatever, you know, it wouldn't have as much punch, would maybe be normal, you know, and it would really partner more with graffiti in general. You know, so the material, I think, sets it apart, in addition to the selection of sites.
And so you actually started as a jewelry maker first. There were some pieces that you had up here that they were the jewelry pieces, but you also had pieces kind of working off of those.
I think they bounce around with each other, and I think that's one thing that I've noticed about myself since I've been at Bemis. And I'm normally function within this crowd of jewelers, you know, and to be, you know, living up here, you know, 7 other sculptors, it's quite interesting, and it's made me kind of like, you know, look a little bit sideways at myself and at my work, and realize, you know, hey, I do work really quite large, and I can, you know. I guess it's made me more aware of scale on the larger sense.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm very focused on making work off of the body scale. And even my sculptural work has that reference. I've just given myself permission while I've been at Bemis and reminded myself, you know, just by being around my colleagues up here in the second floor, that, hey, it's all right, you know, to give myself permission to get a little bit larger. It's just like, oh, right, I forgot about that whole other like interest that I have, you know?
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting play back and forth of, you know, going large and remaining, you know, within the body's limits, you know? So that's been an interesting outcome of being here.
And I think too, like, you've done a really great job of exploring the space within the Bemis, because we're such a large, we used to be a warehouse, and so there's all these little nooks and places where people don't explore as much, and so you've actually sought out those places to think, hey, can I do an installation here, or hey, what other spaces can I use for this environment of like the black dress piece that you're doing right now, which I thought was really great, that you're not just like, okay, I'm gonna just use the installation room, or I'm just gonna use my studio. Like, let's explore what else we have out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love that 5th floor space upstairs, and I've photographed a lot of my work up there because there's a really beautiful skylight. And it just kicks around in like perfect squares. You know, of light, and so it's helped me photograph the work that I've had to ship off, and also photograph pieces that you know, have been in process that I'm not quite sure where I want to take them yet, or if I want to go further with them or not. And I feel like this time at Bemis has been like everything's cooking, you know, and I've got all these like pots on the stove, and they all need tending to, you know, and I can't figure out like what ingredient to put into one because the other one's boiling over, and and so, you know, within this week I've become really rigid with myself, like, okay, you know, get organized and pare this down because you've got like, you know, 4 weeks left, and then you have to clean up and go home. So I've just gotten a little more, I've reeled it in, but I feel like I have enough direction within my work to carry out actual production, at least until the end of the year. And that's been such a gift to have come out of this amazing gift of space and time. It's like, it's a real pressure cooker kind of time, you know, and you have to plug into it, and it's been intense and great. And I just need to push through because I really want to have these solid things wrapped up, you know, before I go.
Absolutely. Thanks so much again for your time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Bemis Center Podcasts, capturing the creative process and bringing it directly to you. For more information about Bemis Center programs and projects, please visit our website at bemiscenter.org.